when the moon wore its silver crown and whispered secrets to the stars. A little girl named Maria sat by her window, her heart filled with butterflies that fluttered nervously. Tomorrow was the day of her first concert, and though she loved singing more than anything, fear had woven a net around her courage. Maria dreamed of soaring melodies like birds on the wind, but tonight, even humming felt like climbing a mountain. Her favorite plush penguin, Pip, sat beside her, silently offering comfort with his soft, velvety fur. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves outside, carrying with it a melody so sweet and clear, it stopped Maria's heart. She tilted her head, listening intently. The music seemed to come from the garden below, where fireflies twinkled like tiny lanterns, painting the velvet night sky with their magic. Following the sound, Maria peeked through the window and gasped. In the middle of the garden, bathed in moonlight, was a toucan with feathers as bright as rainbows. He wore a tiny silver crown perched upon his head, just like the moon above him. And he sang. His voice was warm and rich, carrying a melody that seemed to weave itself into Maria's very soul. The toucan paused in his song and tilted his head towards her window. He winked, a mischievous twinkle in his eye, and then continued his enchanting serenade. Maria felt a tug on her heartstrings, a yearning to join the music, to let her own voice rise with the toucan's. She carefully climbed down from her bed and tiptoed outside, leaving Pip nestled in her window seat. As she stepped into the garden, the air shimmered with magic, and she realized the fireflies weren't just twinkling. They were dancing. Gently swaying to the music, they formed a path leading towards the toucan. He stopped singing again and smiled at Maria, his beak curved in a gentle welcome. "Come," he sang softly, "sing with me." His voice was like a warm summer breeze, coaxing her fears away. Maria took a deep breath and let her voice join the melody. She felt a spark ignite within her, filling her with courage and joy. Together, they sang until the moonbeams dipped below the horizon, their voices blending into one beautiful harmony. When the first rays of dawn kissed the sky, the toucan bowed his head to Maria. "Remember this feeling," he whispered. "It lives inside you always. You are brave and your voice is a gift. Sing it loud and proud." And with a wink, he vanished, leaving behind only the scent of sunshine and the memory of their magical duet. Maria returned to her window, Pip waiting patiently beside her bed. She smiled, feeling lighter than air, her heart brimming with newfound confidence. The fear had melted away, replaced by the warmth of courage and the joy of music. As she snuggled into bed, she hummed a little tune, a melody that whispered of moonlight parades and talking toucans, reminding her that magic lives in every corner of the world, waiting to be discovered. And as Maria drifted off to sleep, she knew that even when she faced new challenges, she had the courage to sing, just like the magical toucan taught her. In a meadow where moonbeams danced on dewdrops, lived a little boy named Luca. Luca had eyes as bright as blueberries and a smile that bloomed like sunflowers after a spring rain. But sometimes, Luca felt things he didn't know how to say. He'd clench his fists when he was frustrated, furrow his brow when he was sad, and hide behind his mother's skirts when he was afraid. One evening, as the sky swirled with colors of lavender and rose, Luca stumbled upon a peculiar sight nestled among the clover blossoms. A snow globe, no bigger than his hand, sat humming softly on a bed of moss. As Luca watched, snowflakes spun within its glass dome, swirling to the tune of a gentle melody. It sounded like wind chimes whispering secrets and raindrops tapping a lullaby. Intrigued, Luca picked up the snow globe. He had never seen anything quite like it. He turned it over and over in his hands, mesmerized by the dancing snowflakes and the sweet song that grew louder with every turn. Then, as if beckoning him closer, the melody seemed to whisper his name. Luca's heart fluttered like a hummingbird's wings. He leaned down and gently placed his ear against the glass. The music filled his head, swirling around him like warm honey. He felt a strange, tingling sensation spreading through his body, melting away his worries and leaving behind a feeling of peaceful wonder. The snow globe pulsed with light, and suddenly Luca found himself inside its magical world. He was surrounded by towering trees dusted with sparkling snowflakes, their branches laden with glowing berries that shimmered like tiny stars. A soft wind carried the scent of cinnamon and pine, making his breath catch in his chest. In this dreamlike landscape, he met a kind-faced woman dressed in swirling white robes. "Welcome, Luca," she said, her voice as gentle as falling snow. "I am the Dream Weaver. This is your world of dreams where you can express all that lives within your heart." Luca looked around at the snowy wonderland, still awed by its beauty. He wanted to speak, to tell the Dream Weaver how he felt, but words seemed to catch in his throat. The melody inside him swelled, a symphony of emotions he couldn't quite name. The Dream Weaver smiled knowingly and placed her hand on Luca's shoulder. "Let your heart sing," she whispered. "Your feelings have their own language, waiting to be heard." Luca closed his eyes and listened to the music within him. He felt a surge of joy at being in this magical place, a twinge of sadness that he couldn't always express his feelings, and a quiet sense of wonder at the beauty surrounding him. As he opened his eyes, he saw snowflakes swirling around him, each one reflecting his emotions: happiness, sadness, wonder. He watched as they formed themselves into shapes, dancing and twirling in the air. A snowflake took on the form of a cheerful sun, radiating warmth and happiness. Another became a crescent moon, shimmering with sadness but also serenity. Then a cluster of snowflakes swirled together, creating a star, shining brightly with the power of his wonder. The Dream Weaver nodded approvingly. "You see, Luca," she said, "your feelings are beautiful and powerful. They have their own way of speaking to the world." Luca's heart felt light and full. He understood now. He didn't need words to express himself. His emotions could dance and sing through music, through art, through every kind gesture he made. As the first rays of dawn peeked over the horizon, Luca woke up in his bed, the warmth of the sun gently touching his cheeks. The snow globe sat on his bedside table, humming softly. He knew that even when he couldn't find the words, his feelings would always have a voice, a magical voice that could sing and dance through his heart. When the first stars peeked through the velvet sky, little Arjun dreamt of dancing on clouds made of candy floss. His dream was tied to his heart, a tiny kite he'd made with bright paper and wishes woven into every fold. Arjun longed to see it soar at the Jaipur Kite Festival, a whirlwind of colors against the sunrise. He imagined his kite, a crimson flame against the sapphire sky, leading all the others in a graceful ballet. But as Arjun stood before the bustling crowd, clutching his kite tightly, a knot of worry tightened in his tummy. Around him, kites were already taking flight, their tails trailing like ribbons in the playful breeze. Some dipped and swayed with practiced ease, while others soared high above the rooftops, touching the sunbeams. Each one seemed to have a story whispered on its wind-kissed wings. Arjun's kite, however, remained stubbornly earthbound. "Don't worry, little one," whispered a soft voice. Arjun looked around, his eyes wide with surprise. A gentle breeze swirled around him, carrying the scent of blooming jasmine and freshly baked bread. Hovering above was a small, shimmering figure, its form as light and airy as dandelion fluff. It had gossamer wings that caught the moonlight and eyes that sparkled like distant stars. This was Puffy, a wind spirit who loved to help dreams take flight. Puffy circled Arjun's head, his tiny voice full of warmth. "Your kite holds so much hope and joy," he said. but sometimes even the strongest winds need a little encouragement. Puffy gently touched Arjun's hand with his feathery wing. Trust yourself, little one. Let go of your worries and believe in the power of your dreams. Taking a deep breath, Arjun tightened his grip on the kite's string. Puffy circled around him once more, whispering words of encouragement like rustling leaves. Then, with a gentle push from the wind spirit, Arjun let go. The kite lifted slowly at first, its crimson paper catching the rising sun. Then it surged upwards, dancing and twirling in the breeze. Arjun watched in awe as his kite soared higher and higher, becoming a vibrant flame against the clear blue sky. It dipped and swayed with newfound grace, joining the other kites in their joyful dance. Puffy, perched on Arjun's shoulder, beamed at him, his starry eyes shining with pride. "See, little one, you did it," he whispered. "You trusted yourself and your dream took flight." As the sun climbed higher, casting golden rays across the festival, Arjun felt a warmth spread through his heart. He realized that Puffy wasn't just a wind spirit. He was a reminder that dreams can take flight when we believe in ourselves. The joy of seeing his kite dance amongst the others filled him with happiness, as bright and warm as the sun above. And so, as the moon began to paint the sky with silver hues and the stars winked softly, Arjun knew it was time for bed. He closed his eyes, picturing his crimson kite soaring high above the rooftops, a symbol of courage and dreams fulfilled. He drifted off to sleep, lulled by the whispers of the wind, knowing that even in his dreams, Puffy would always be there, whispering words of encouragement and reminding him to always believe in the magic within himself. In a garden where moonbeams danced on dew-kissed petals, lived a little girl named Zoya. Zoya had ears that twitched with curiosity, always listening to the whispered tales carried by the wind. She loved stories about brave knights and mischievous fairies, but her favorite were the ones about the Firefly forest. They told of fireflies who weren't just tiny lights in the night, but wise little creatures who shared their secret knowledge of bravery. Zoya imagined them twinkling like stars on velvet leaves, sharing courage in whispers as soft as moonlight. She longed to visit this magical place, to learn their secrets and maybe even make a firefly friend. One day, while exploring her grandmother's attic, Zoya stumbled upon a dusty old lantern tucked away in a corner. It was unlike any lantern she'd ever seen, with swirling patterns etched on its glass and a warm, golden glow emanating from within. As she held it, she felt a gentle, tingling sensation, like tiny sparks dancing on her fingertips. That night, under the watchful gaze of a crescent moon, Zoya lit the magic lantern. It pulsed with a soft, inviting light, bathing her room in a comforting warmth. Suddenly, the air shimmered, and a tiny firefly, its light flickering like a miniature sun, hovered before her. "Follow me," it whispered, its voice as delicate as the rustling of leaves. "The firefly forest awaits," Zoya gasped, her heart beating with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. With the lantern held high, she followed the firefly through her window and into the night. The air grew cool and fragrant, filled with the scent of pine needles and damp earth. Above them, the stars twinkled like diamonds scattered across a midnight blue canvas. The firefly led Zoya on a winding path through whispering trees, their branches laden with glowing berries that cast an ethereal light upon the forest floor. The air was alive with the soft hum of countless fireflies, each one a tiny beacon of light illuminating the darkness. Finally, they reached a clearing bathed in a soft, golden glow. Hundreds of fireflies danced and twirled in the center, their lights weaving intricate patterns in the night sky. One particularly bright firefly landed on Zoya's outstretched hand. "Welcome to our forest," it chirped. "We teach bravery not with roars or shouts, but with small, courageous steps." Zoya looked around at the fireflies, each one a testament to this truth. They taught her that bravery wasn't about being fearless, but about facing your fears, one tiny step at a time. They showed her how to speak up when she felt shy, how to try new things even if they seemed scary, and how to help others even when it was difficult. As Zoya listened, she realized that bravery wasn't just about big, heroic acts, but about the small, everyday choices we make. With a grateful heart, Zoya bid farewell to her firefly friends. The magic lantern guided her back through the whispering trees and out into her own garden, where the first rays of dawn were painting the sky with soft hues of pink and orange. She nestled back into her bed, her head filled with the magic of the firefly forest and the warmth of their gentle wisdom. The firefly's words echoed in her heart. "Be brave, little one step at a time." She closed her eyes, knowing that even though she was alone in her room, she carried the light of courage within her, ready to face whatever tomorrow might bring. And as she drifted off to sleep, she dreamt of dancing fireflies and whispered tales of bravery, their soft glow guiding her into a peaceful slumber. In a bamboo forest bathed in moonlight, where fireflies danced like tiny stars, lived a little panda named Yuki. Yuki was very kind, always sharing her juicy bamboo shoots with others, but she sometimes felt lonely. She wished for friends to play with under the soft glow of the moon. One evening, as Yuki munched on her dinner, a gentle voice startled her. "Hello," it said. "Would you like some tea?" Yuki looked around and saw a panda unlike any she'd ever met. This panda wore a silken scarf and had a twinkle in his eye that seemed to hold the secrets of the moon. He was holding a steaming teapot, its handle carved into the shape of a blooming flower. "I've never had tea before," Yuki whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. "And I don't know anyone else who has moonlight tea parties." The kind panda smiled warmly. "Then you're in for a treat. Come, sit by me under the whispering bamboo trees." He placed a delicate cup on a moss-covered cushion and poured steaming tea that glowed faintly like captured moonlight. Yuki took a sip, and her heart felt as warm as the sunbeams that had peeked through the leaves earlier that day. "This is delicious," she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with delight. The panda chuckled softly. "The secret ingredient," he said, "is kindness. When you share your kindness with others, it creates something truly magical." As they sipped their tea, the panda told Yuki stories about how kindness could build bridges between even the most different creatures. He spoke of a shy firefly who found courage to light up the night, thanks to a kind ladybug who praised its gentle glow. He shared tales of a grumpy badger who learned to laugh again after a little sparrow offered him a juicy worm. Yuki listened with rapt attention, her heart swelling with hope. She realized that she didn't need to be alone. By sharing her kindness, she could make friends and fill the world with warmth and light. As the moon climbed higher in the velvet sky, casting long shadows through the bamboo forest, Yuki knew it was time to go home. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice filled with gratitude. "For the tea, for the stories, and for showing me that kindness can bring true friendship." The panda smiled gently. "Remember, Yuki," he said, "kindness is like a seed that blooms into something beautiful when shared with others." Yuki walked back to her cozy den, her heart brimming with warmth and hope. As she drifted off to sleep, she imagined the fireflies twinkling like tiny stars, each one a reminder of the magic that kindness could create. And in the soft glow of the moonlight, Yuki knew that friendship would always find its way to her. In a world where toys whispered secrets at night, there lived a little boy named Alex. He loved his toys more than anything: his fluffy bear, Captain Whiskers the space explorer, and Princess Sparkle with her shimmering crown. But sometimes, when playtime ended, cleaning up was like saying goodbye to all his friends. Alex's bedroom was tucked between two sleepy hills, its window overlooking a garden where fireflies danced in velvet twilight. One night, as Alex lay snuggled under his covers, a soft glow filled the room. He saw Captain Whiskers floating in midair, beckoning him with a glittery antenna. "Come, Alex," whispered Captain Whiskers. "Let's go on an adventure." With a twinkle of magic, Alex found himself riding inside Princess Sparkle's carriage, pulled by fluffy clouds and steered by giggling teacups. They soared through the night sky, passing shimmering moonbeams and whispering stars. Their journey took them to a breathtaking castle made entirely of toys. Blocks formed towering walls, teddy bears stood guard as knights, and building bricks paved winding paths. But something was amiss. Toys were scattered everywhere, their usual sparkle dimmed with sadness. "This is the floating toy castle," said Captain Whiskers, "but it's lost its magic because no one cleans up." A little toy train whimpered. "I can't move because I'm stuck under a pile of blocks." Princess Sparkle sighed. "My beautiful gown is covered in dust bunnies." Alex felt a warm glow inside him. He realized that cleaning up wasn't just about tidying. It was about showing his toys love and care. He helped the little train free itself, dusted off Princess Sparkle's dress, and carefully stacked the blocks into towers. As Alex worked, the castle began to glow brighter. The toys cheered, their voices like tinkling bells. Their colors returned, sparkling with joy. The floating toy castle was filled with warmth and laughter once more. As they flew back home, Captain Whiskers smiled at Alex. "You have learned a valuable lesson tonight, Alex," he said. "Taking care of your toys brings them happiness, just like taking care of our loved ones brings us joy." Alex snuggled into his bed, the warmth of the adventure still tingling in his heart. He knew now that cleaning up wasn't a chore. It was a way to show his toys how much he cared. And as the fireflies winked good night outside his window, Alex drifted off to sleep, dreaming of sparkling castles and happy toys. Once upon a time, in a town nestled between hills that whispered secrets to the clouds, lived a little girl named Sophia. Sophia loved sunny days best of all, days when she could chase butterflies with her giggles and build sandcastle towers taller than herself. But sometimes the sky would turn gray like a sleepy owl's eyes, and rain would patter down like tiny fingers drumming on window panes. One such day, as Sophia sat by the window watching raindrops race each other down the glass, she saw Puffy, her fluffy, white rabbit friend, hop into view. Puffy had bright, kind eyes that sparkled even on a cloudy day. He held out his paw, and in it was something wonderful, a giant, shimmering umbrella. Its canopy was painted with rainbows that seemed to dance and swirl even though the rain fell steadily outside. "Don't be sad about the rain, Sophia," Puffy said in his softest voice. "We can have an adventure." He gently took Sophia's hand and led her out the door. As soon as they stepped beneath Puffy's magical umbrella, the raindrops turned into tiny, sparkling jewels that bounced off its surface. The world transformed into a glistening wonderland. Sophia gasped with delight. The carnival was just down the road, and it was alive with color even through the rain. They walked hand in paw, Sophia nestled beneath Puffy's warm umbrella, past laughing children who twirled under miniature umbrellas, their faces painted with rainbow smiles. A friendly parrot with feathers as bright as the carnival lights greeted them, squawking, "Welcome to a day full of sunshine." At the center of the carnival was a giant Ferris wheel that spun like a carousel in the sky. Puffy took Sophia for a ride, and as they soared above the crowds, she felt like she could touch the fluffy clouds. The world stretched out below them like a colorful patchwork quilt, stitched together with twinkling lights and music drifting on the air. They sipped hot chocolate from cups that warmed their hands and shared treats made of spun sugar that tasted like dreams. Puffy told Sophia stories about brave little bunnies who danced in the rain and painted rainbows with their whiskers. Sophia laughed and listened, her heart filled with the magic of a rainy day carnival. As the sky began to lighten and the first stars peeked through the clouds, Puffy led Sophia back home. The raindrops had stopped, and a gentle breeze rustled the leaves in the trees, whispering good night. Sophia snuggled under her covers, her head filled with the warmth of the carnival lights and Puffy's kind eyes. "Thank you for showing me that even on cloudy days," Sophia whispered to Puffy as she drifted off to sleep, "there can be magic everywhere." And so, little ones, remember that magic lives in every corner of our world, waiting to be discovered. Even when the sky is gray, there are always rainbows to be found if you look closely enough. Now close your eyes and dream sweet dreams filled with puffy clouds and sparkling rain. Sweet dreams, my dears. Once upon a time, nestled amongst the shimmering stars of a moonlit night, lived a little Viking girl named Freya. She dreamt of adventures on the open sea, of sailing with brave Vikings and reaching faraway lands. But most of all, she dreamt of riding a dragon through the clouds, its scales glittering like 1,000 fireflies. One day, while gazing at the stars, Freya wished upon a shooting star for her dream to come true. She closed her eyes tight, imagining herself soaring with a magnificent dragon. When she opened them again, a soft glow filled the room, and before her stood a gentle green dragon, its eyes as bright as emeralds. "Hello, Freya," whispered the dragon, its voice like the rustling of leaves. "I heard your wish upon the star. I am Emerald, and I've come to take you on an adventure." Freya gasped in delight, her heart fluttering like a hummingbird's wings. She climbed onto Emerald's back, holding tight to his shimmering scales. As they soared into the night sky, the wind whispered secrets in their ears, and the stars danced around them like fireflies. Emerald carried Freya over moonlit seas, past slumbering islands, and towards a land of swirling clouds and floating castles. They landed on a cloud-shaped island that shimmered with soft light. There, Freya met other dreamers, talking animals, glowing flowers, and children who flew through the air like butterflies. They played games in fields of moonbeams, drank nectar from sparkling flowers, and listened to stories told by the wind itself. But as they played, Freya noticed something peculiar. While the other dreamers were strong and fearless, their movements were also gentle and kind. They lifted each other up with their words, shared their treasures freely, and always put others first. Freya realized that true strength wasn't just about being brave or powerful, but also about being gentle, kind, and compassionate. She learned that a soft touch could be more powerful than a mighty roar, and that a kind word could light up a heart brighter than any fire. As the first rays of dawn touched the horizon, Emerald carried Freya back home, her heart brimming with warmth and wonder. She snuggled into her bed, clutching a small glowing flower she had received as a gift from her new friends. The gentle breeze whispered through her window, carrying the scent of moonbeams and dreams. Freya drifted off to sleep, knowing that even though dragons and dream ships might only exist in stories, the magic of kindness and gentleness could be found everywhere, waiting to be discovered. Once upon a time, nestled high in the branches of an ancient eucalyptus tree, lived a sleepy koala named Kiko. Kiko was known throughout the forest for his gentle nature and his love of long naps. He had fur as soft as moonlight and eyes that sparkled like dewdrops after a summer rain. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, a little boy named Liam climbed up the eucalyptus tree to visit Kiko. Liam was worried. His tummy felt full of butterflies, fluttering around like they couldn't decide where to go. He squeezed his eyes shut, wishing for calm, but all he could hear was the beating of his own heart. Seeing Liam's furrowed brow and tightly clenched fists, Kiko smiled softly. "Little one," he said in a voice as soothing as rustling leaves. "Worry is like a little bird that flits around inside us, making all sorts of noise." Liam looked up at Kiko, his eyes wide with curiosity. "How do we make it stop?" he whispered. Kiko chuckled, a sound like wind chimes tinkling in the breeze. "We show it our dreams," he said, "our happy dreams filled with fluffy clouds and gentle breezes." Liam tilted his head, confused. Kiko closed his eyes and took a deep breath, filling his lungs with the scent of eucalyptus leaves and warm earth. "Imagine," Kiko whispered, "a giant white cloud so soft and puffy that it stretches all across Australia." He opened his eyes, twinkling with magic. "This cloud is special, Liam. It's a magic cloud that slides through the sky, taking us on wonderful journeys." Liam's eyes widened as he pictured this magical cloud, its fluffy edges brushing against the tops of mountains and whispering secrets to the playful kangaroos hopping through the fields. "What does it look like?" Liam asked, his voice hushed with wonder. Kiko smiled. "It's a shimmering white, lit from within by tiny stars that twinkle just for us. And when we climb onto this cloud, Liam," he said, his voice dropping to a soft murmur, "it carries us over sparkling rivers and through forests filled with singing birds." He paused, letting the image settle in Liam's mind. "And the best part," Kiko continued, "is that every time we slide down from the cloud, we land softly on a bed of rainbow-colored flowers." Liam gasped, his worries fading like whispers on the wind. He could almost feel the soft fur of the magic cloud beneath his fingers and smell the sweet scent of those vibrant flowers. "Can we ride on it?" he asked, his eyes shining with excitement. Kiko chuckled again. "Of course, Liam," he said. "But first, we need to close our eyes and imagine ourselves gliding through the sky." He squeezed Liam's hand gently, his warmth spreading like sunshine through Liam's little body. "Just breathe in the sweet night air, feel the soft wind brushing against your cheeks, and let all your worries float away like dandelion seeds on a gentle breeze." Liam took a deep breath, letting Kiko's words wash over him like calming waves. He pictured himself on the magic cloud, soaring above Australia's beautiful landscapes, his worries melting away with each gentle breeze. As the stars twinkled brighter in the night sky, Liam felt a warm sleepiness creeping over him. He snuggled closer to Kiko, feeling safe and loved. The little koala smiled, whispering softly, "Sweet dreams, Liam. Sleep tight and dream of fluffy clouds and rainbow flowers." And as the moon bathed the eucalyptus tree in its silvery glow, Liam drifted off to sleep, his heart full of peace and wonder. Once upon a time, nestled in the softest corner of Emma's room, lived a teddy bear named Barnaby. Barnaby was no ordinary teddy. He had fur as brown as toasted marshmallows and eyes that shimmered like tiny golden stars. Every night, when Emma snuggled into her bed and closed her eyes, Barnaby would whisper secrets of the world beyond sleep tailies of fluffy clouds, sailing on moonbeams and fireflies dancing to lullabies sung by crickets. One particularly starry night, as Emma drifted off to sleep, a wisp of stardust brushed against Barnaby's ear. He felt a tingling sensation, like 1,000 tiny bells jingling softly. Suddenly, his button eyes sparkled brighter, his fur seemed to glow with an inner light, and he found himself floating gently above Emma's bed. Barnaby was no longer just a teddy, he had become a dream weaver. His fluffy arms transformed into wings that shimmered like spun moonlight, and he soared through the open window, leaving behind the cozy warmth of Emma's room. He flew over fields of sleeping daisies, their petals closed tight like sleepy eyes. He skimmed past shimmering rivers where silver fish dreamed of coral castles. And high above it all, he saw a cascade of stars, each one twinkling with a story waiting to be told. Barnaby landed softly on the branch of an old oak tree. A wise old owl, perched nearby, blinked at him with kind eyes. "Welcome, Dream Weaver," hooted the owl. "What brings you to our magical meadow?" "I want to share the joy of dreams," Barnaby whispered, his voice filled with wonder. "But I've never been on an adventure before." The owl chuckled softly. "Adventures are all around us, young one, if we just open our hearts to see them." He pointed his wing towards a group of fireflies, their tiny lights dancing like miniature stars. "See those little wonders? Each firefly carries a dream within its light. Would you like to help me share their stories?" Barnaby nodded eagerly. Together they flew through the meadow, following the twinkling trail of fireflies. Each firefly carried a unique story. One dreamed of flying across the moonlit sky. Another wished for a forest filled with singing flowers. And yet another dreamt of becoming a brave knight who rescued Princess Butterflies from grumpy spiders. Barnaby listened intently to each story, his heart warming with their innocent joy. He realized that sharing dreams wasn't just about telling tales. It was about making connections, spreading kindness, and remembering the magic that lived within every creature, big or small. As the first rays of dawn painted the sky in hues of soft pink and orange, Barnaby knew it was time to return to Emma's room. He flew back to the window, his wings shimmering with the memories of his adventure. He gently landed on Emma's bed, his fur warm from the night air, and whispered a lullaby into her ear, a song about fireflies, dreaming meadows, and the boundless joy of sharing stories. Emma snuggled closer to Barnaby, her breathing soft and peaceful, her dreams filled with the magic of his adventure. And as the sun peeked over the horizon, casting warm golden rays across the room, Barnaby knew that even when we sleep, our hearts can continue to fly on wings of wonder, spreading kindness and sharing the joy of dreams wherever they go. Good night, little one. Sleep tight and dream sweet dreams. Once upon a time, in a village nestled amongst the swaying palms and fragrant jasmine bushes, lived a little boy named Arav. Arav loved Diwali, the festival of lights. He loved the twinkling diyas casting warm glows on his walls, the sweet smell of incense filling the air, and most of all, he loved the sound of firecrackers crackling in the night sky. Except there was one tiny problem. The loud booms and whizzes of the firecrackers made Arav's heart thump a little too fast. He wished he could enjoy them without feeling scared. This year, though, something magical happened. As Arav looked up at the darkening sky, a tiny, shimmering star seemed to wink down at him. It twinkled and danced with such joy that it caught Arav's eye. He watched as the star floated closer and closer until it landed softly on his outstretched hand. "Hello," whispered the star, its voice like tinkling bells. "My name is Twinkle." Arav gasped in delight. A talking star. "I heard you liked Diwali, but that loud sounds made you a little afraid," Twinkle continued, her voice gentle as a summer breeze. "Well, I want to help you enjoy the festival even more." Twinkle then flew up into the sky and began to dance amongst the real stars. She twirled and spun, leaving behind trails of shimmering light that looked just like miniature firecrackers. Arav watched in amazement as Twinkle's dances echoed the sounds he usually found frightening. But these weren't scary booms. They were playful sparkles and gentle whizzes. Twinkle danced all night long, creating a beautiful symphony of light and sound. The village was filled with wonder, everyone gazing up at the magical show in the sky. Arav's fear melted away as he watched Twinkle play. He felt happy, safe, and even braver than before. As the first rays of dawn peeked over the horizon, signaling the end of Diwali celebrations, Twinkle whispered to Arav, "Remember, my dear Arav, you are always brave, just like a twinkling star." And with a final wink, she soared back into the sky, leaving behind a trail of stardust that shimmered like hope. Arav snuggled into his bed, his heart warm with the magic he had witnessed. He dreamed of dancing stars and friendly firecrackers, knowing that even though the loud sounds might return next year, he would always have Twinkle's light to guide him. And as sleep gently claimed him, Arav whispered a thank you to the magical star who helped him see the beauty in Diwali, just as it was meant to be seen. Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Nina who loved rainbows almost more than anything in the world. She dreamed of dancing through fields of shimmering colors and wearing shoes that sparkled like prisms. One day, Nina found a pair of the most beautiful rainbow shoes she had ever seen. They were made of softest velvet, and each ribbon on them shimmered with every color imaginable. But when it came time for school, Nina felt a little flutter in her tummy, a feeling she knew as nervousness. She worried that the other children wouldn't like her new shoes or that they might laugh at her if she tripped and fell. Taking a deep breath, Nina looked at her rainbow shoes lying on the floor. "Maybe I should just wear my old brown shoes," she whispered to herself. Just then, a gentle breeze rustled through the window and a fluffy white cloud drifted in, smiling down at Nina. "Hello," said the cloud softly, his voice like a whisper of wind chimes. "My name is Puffy." Nina looked up, surprised, as she had never seen a talking cloud before. "What are you doing here?" she asked. Puffy chuckled. "I saw your beautiful rainbow shoes and wanted to say how wonderful they are. Those colors are just like the ones in my dreams." Nina blushed, a little bit shy. Puffy floated closer, his fluffy edges brushing against Nina's arm. "I heard you were feeling nervous about school," he said kindly. "But remember," Puffy continued, "being brave is like wearing those special shoes. It takes courage to shine brightly. You have a kind heart and many wonderful things to share with the world." Puffy's words warmed Nina's heart like sunshine. She thought about all the fun things she loved to do, drawing pictures, building sandcastles, and sharing her favorite stories with her friends. "You know," Puffy said, "wearing your rainbow shoes can make you feel even braver. They remind everyone that it's okay to be different and to shine in our own unique way." Puffy gently nudged Nina's foot with his cloud-like body. "Try them on," he whispered. Nina took a deep breath, laced up her rainbow shoes, and stood tall. She twirled, feeling the soft velvet ribbons against her skin and watching the colors shimmer around her. The nervousness in her tummy melted away, replaced by a warm feeling of excitement and joy. "Thank you, Puffy," Nina said with a smile. "You helped me find my courage." Puffy giggled, his fluffy form glowing a soft shade of pink. "Remember, little one," he whispered, "you are always beautiful and strong, just like those rainbow shoes." As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across Nina's room, Puffy slowly faded away, leaving behind a trail of stardust that shimmered like tiny rainbows. Nina knew, no matter what, she would always have her rainbow shoes and the courage to shine brightly. Now close your eyes, little one. Imagine yourself dancing in fields of shimmering colors, wearing your own special pair of magical rainbow shoes. Dream sweet dreams, filled with wonder and light. Once upon a time, beneath a sky sprinkled with 1,000 tiny diamonds, lived a little boy named Tarek. Every night, he would snuggle into his bed, clutching his favorite lantern, a warm glow radiating from its belly like a tiny sun. This was no ordinary lantern. It held stories within its heart, whispered tales of faraway lands and ancient wonders. One starry night, as Tarek lay listening to the crickets chirp their sleepy song, the lantern hummed softly. "Tarek," it said in a voice like tinkling bells, "tonight I'll tell you about the whispering pyramids of Egypt." Tarek's eyes widened, his imagination already soaring with images of tall towers reaching for the stars. "They say," the lantern continued, "that these pyramids hold secrets whispered by the wind itself, secrets of pharaohs and their grand treasures, of mighty gods and ancient magic. Tarek listened with rapt attention, his little heart beating faster with each word. He imagined himself walking through golden halls, past towering statues, feeling the cool touch of sand beneath his feet. But as the lantern spoke of patiently digging through layers of time to uncover these hidden wonders, a sigh escaped Tarek's lips. "I wish I could see them right now," he exclaimed. "I want to hear the secrets whispered by the wind." The lantern chuckled softly. "Ah, little one," it said, "patience is like a gentle breeze. It carries us forward bit by bit until we reach our destination." Tarek frowned. He didn't understand how waiting could be like a breeze. "But I want to go there now." The lantern smiled warmly. "Close your eyes, Tarek," it whispered, "and imagine yourself standing before the whispering pyramids. Feel the warm sun on your skin, smell the sweet scent of desert flowers in the air." Tarek closed his eyes and breathed deeply. He pictured himself walking through a golden field, the sun warming his face. He saw towering pyramids rising into the sky, their sides covered in intricate carvings that shimmered in the sunlight. The lantern's voice grew softer, like the rustle of leaves in a gentle breeze. "Listen carefully," it whispered. "Can you hear them now? The secrets whispered by the wind." Tarek focused his attention, straining to hear. And then he heard it. A faint whisper carried on the warm breeze, telling tales of ancient times, of pharaohs and their treasures, of gods and magic. As the whispers filled his ears, a feeling of peace washed over Tarek. He understood now. Patience wasn't about waiting idly. It was about savoring every moment, letting things unfold naturally, just like the breeze carrying those whispered secrets. The lantern hummed softly once more, its glow casting dancing shadows on Tarek's eyelids. "Sleep soundly now, little one," it said, "and let your dreams be filled with the magic of the whispering pyramids." Tarek snuggled deeper into his bed, a smile playing on his lips. He was no longer impatient. He was content, knowing that even in sleep, the whispers of adventure would continue to dance around him. Long time ago, under a sky full of twinkling stars, lived a little boy named Sam. He had the softest fur like a bunny and eyes that sparkled like dewdrops on a sunflower petal. One day, Sam woke up feeling a little bit blue. His smile, usually as bright as the morning sun, was hidden away like a sleepy ladybug under a leaf. He didn't want to play with his teddy bear or build towers of blocks. He just wanted to curl up and stay in his cozy bed all day. His mama gave him a big hug and whispered, "Sometimes, little ones feel blue. But even when we feel blue, there's always magic waiting to lift our spirits." Just then, a gentle breeze rustled through the window, carrying with it the sound of soft laughter and jingling bells. Sam peeked outside and saw the most wonderful sight. A parade was winding its way through his garden, bathed in the silvery light of the moon. There were fireflies dancing like tiny stars, little mushrooms wearing glowing hats, and ladybugs pulling carriages made of rose petals. And leading the parade, with a smile as wide as the sky, was a giraffe named Jeery. Jeery had spots that shimmered like amethysts, and his neck stretched high above the trees, touching the moonbeams. Jeery saw Sam watching from his window and waved with his long, graceful legs. "Hello, little one," he boomed in a voice as warm as honey. "Come join our moonlight parade. Laughter is the best medicine for a blue day." Sam hesitated for just a moment. Then, remembering his mama's words about magic, he ran outside to join the parade. As he walked beside Jeery, they passed giggling butterflies and playful squirrels. The fireflies twirled around them, painting the air with shimmering light. Jeery told Sam jokes that made him giggle like a brook overflowing with happiness. He told stories about dancing stars and moonbeams that whispered secrets to sleeping flowers. Soon, Sam's blue feelings were gone, replaced by a warmth that spread through his heart like sunshine. When the parade reached its end, Giraffe leaned down and gave Sam a gentle nudge. "Remember, little one," he said softly, "even when you feel blue, there is always magic in the world waiting to make you smile." Sam looked up at the giraffe's twinkling amethyst spots and smiled back. He felt so happy and safe, surrounded by the warmth of the moonlight and the soft glow of the fireflies. As he drifted off to sleep that night, he could still hear the gentle laughter of Giraffe and the jingling of the parade bells, a sweet melody lulling him into a peaceful slumber. Once upon a time, nestled amongst the rolling hills of Argentina, lived a little boy named Diego. Diego loved to play soccer. He dreamt of scoring goals and cheering with his friends under the warm Argentinian sun. But tonight, Diego's heart felt heavy with worry. There was a big soccer match tomorrow, the most important one yet. As Diego tossed and turned in bed, his thoughts raced like nervous butterflies. What if he missed the goal? What if he forgot how to play? What if everyone laughed at him? His worries swirled around him like a gentle breeze carrying fallen leaves. He squeezed his eyes shut, wishing for courage as strong as the mountains that cradled his home. Suddenly, a soft glow filled Diego's room, casting dancing shadows on the walls. A tiny figure hovered in the air, shimmering like moonlight on water. It was Luna, the dream weaver, her hair woven from spun starlight and her eyes sparkling like distant galaxies. She smiled gently at Diego. "Little one," she whispered, her voice as soft as a lullaby, "I see your worries dancing around you like fireflies in the night. Don't be afraid, for I have a special dream waiting just for you." Luna held out her hand, and Diego felt himself floating upwards, leaving his bed behind. They soared above the rolling hills of Argentina, past sleeping llamas and sleepy condors, until they reached a field bathed in soft moonlight. This wasn't an ordinary field, though. It was filled with glowing soccer balls that bounced and shimmered like stars. "Welcome to Dreamland," Luna said, her voice echoing softly in the night sky. "Here, all your dreams come true." Diego gasped as players materialized around him, each one wearing a shirt woven from moonlight and laughter. They were animals of every kind, playful monkeys dribbling with their tails, wise old owls soaring through the air with passes, and even a family of armadillos forming a formidable defense line. "You're playing too," Luna whispered as she handed Diego a luminous soccer ball that felt warm in his hand. "Tonight, you will face your fears and discover the courage within." Diego felt a nervous flutter in his stomach, but then he looked around at his teammates, their eyes filled with encouragement and excitement. A feeling of warmth spread through him, chasing away the worries that had clung to him like shadows. He took a deep breath, feeling the cool night air fill his lungs, and smiled. The game began, and Diego realized that everything felt different in Dreamland. The field was soft as clouds, and the ball seemed to float effortlessly at his feet. He passed to an agile fox who darted past defenders with surprising speed, then scored a goal that left everyone cheering. Diego laughed, realizing how much fun he was having. He played with confidence and joy, feeling the strength of Luna's magic around him. He wasn't afraid anymore. Instead, he felt a surge of courage, as bright and warm as the sun rising over his home. As the game drew to a close, Diego realized that even if he lost in the real world tomorrow, it didn't matter. He had learned something much more important in Dreamland. He was brave, he was strong, and he loved playing soccer with all his heart. Luna smiled at Diego, her starlight hair shimmering like 1,000 tiny wishes. "Remember this feeling," she whispered. "Carry it with you always." Then, gently, she guided him back to his bed. Diego awoke in the morning, his worries replaced by a feeling of calm and joy. He looked out the window at the rising sun, its golden rays painting the hills with warm colors. He felt ready for anything. He knew that even if he didn't score every goal or win every game, he would always have the courage to try his best, because inside him, the dream of dreamland still glowed bright. And so, as Diego started his day, filled with a newfound confidence and the warmth of Luna's magic, you too can close your eyes and let your dreams take you on their own wonderful adventures. Sleep soundly, little one, until the sun rises again. Good night. Once upon a time, in a world just like ours but sprinkled with a little extra magic, lived a little girl named Hannah. Hannah had the softest brown hair and eyes that shimmered like amethysts when she smiled, which wasn't very often lately. You see, Hannah was about to start at a new school, and her tummy felt all fluttery and nervous like a butterfly caught in a gentle breeze. One evening, as Hannah lay nestled under her favorite blanket of fuzzy stars, Twinkle, the kindest little star you ever did meet, peeked through her window. "Hello, Hannah," whispered Twinkle, his voice as soft as moonbeams dancing on water. "I heard about your big day tomorrow." Hannah snuggled deeper into her blankets. "It's scary, Twinkle," she mumbled. "What if nobody likes me? What if I get lost?" Twinkle smiled, and his tiny starlight flickered a comforting shade of lavender. "Don't you worry, Hannah," he said. "I have just the thing to help you feel brave." And with that, Twinkle pulled out a lantern from behind him. It was no ordinary lantern, though. It glowed with the softest shades of pink and blue, like the colors of twilight painted on a summer sky. He held it out to Hannah. "This is a magic lantern," he explained. "It will take us on a special ride through Tokyo, filled with wonders that will chase away your worries." Hannah's eyes widened. "A ride," she gasped. "But how?" Twinkle winked. "Just hold onto this lantern tight, Hannah," he said, and as soon as she grasped the warm handle, they were lifted into the air. They soared above Tokyo, a shimmering city bathed in the soft glow of the rising sun. The buildings sparkled like jewels, each window a tiny beacon of light. Below them, cherry blossoms bloomed in every shade imaginable, pink and white and purple, carpeting the parks and streets with a delicate beauty. As they floated over a bustling market, Hannah saw fluffy white rabbits wearing tiny straw hats, selling baskets of fragrant strawberries. A little panda bear was juggling shiny oranges, his clumsy paws making everyone laugh. A group of friendly foxes strolled by, their tails trailing behind them like ribbons of fire. They were carrying trays piled high with steaming bowls of ramen, the delicious aroma filling the air. Twinkle pointed out a schoolhouse bathed in sunshine. "See, Hannah," he whispered, "even schools can be filled with magic and wonder." He paused, letting Hannah absorb the sight. "Remember," Twinkle continued, "every place is full of friendly faces waiting to meet you, and every new experience is an adventure just waiting to begin." Hannah took a deep breath, feeling a smile bloom on her face. The fear in her tummy started to melt away, replaced by a feeling of anticipation. Maybe starting at a new school wouldn't be so scary after all. As they continued their magical journey, Twinkle led Hannah through quiet bamboo forests, where the wind whispered secrets amongst the leaves. They visited a sparkling pond, where goldfish with shimmering scales swam in graceful circles. Finally, as the moon began to peek over the horizon, casting long shadows across the city, Twinkle brought Hannah back to her window. "See, Hannah," he said, his voice soft and reassuring. "Tokyo is full of beautiful things, just waiting for you to discover them." Hannah looked out at the city, now bathed in the gentle glow of moonlight. She felt a warmth spread through her chest, chasing away any lingering worries. "Thank you, Twinkle," she whispered, clutching the lantern tightly. "I feel so much better." Twinkle smiled. "Close your eyes, Hannah," he said, "and dream of all the wonderful adventures that await you tomorrow." Hana closed her eyes, and as she drifted off to sleep, she could almost hear the whispers of the wind, carrying with them the soft melody of Tokyo's night. She dreamed of friendly faces, sparkling schools, and magical gardens waiting just beyond the sunrise. And when she woke up in the morning, she knew that starting at a new school wouldn't be scary at all. It would be an adventure filled with wonder, just like her ride through Tokyo with Twinkle. Sleep tight, little one, and may your dreams be filled with magic and light. Once upon a time, nestled amongst fields of moonlit clover and whispering willow trees, lived a little girl named Tara. Tara had eyes the color of twilight and hair like spun moonlight. She loved to wander through the meadow, her bare feet tracing patterns in the soft grass. Every night, before sleep claimed her, she would whisper secrets to the stars, hoping they'd carry them on their silver wings to faraway lands. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky with hues of lavender and rose, Tara felt a gentle tug on her sleeve. She turned to see a tiny ladybug, its shell shimmering with dewdrop jewels. "Follow me," whispered the ladybug, its voice as soft as rustling leaves. "I know a secret place." Tara, always curious, followed the ladybug through a maze of moonbeams and firefly sparks. They walked past sleepy crickets chirping their evening song and watched a family of bunnies nibble on dew-kissed clover. Finally, they reached a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. In the center stood a magnificent temple, its walls crafted from smooth, glowing stones that pulsed with a warm light. Thousands of fireflies danced within, their tiny bodies weaving patterns of sparkling gold and silver. The air hummed with a gentle melody, like the whispering of wind chimes. Tara gasped in wonder. It was a place she had never seen before, a place straight out of her dreams. "Welcome to the Firefly Temple," said the ladybug, bowing its tiny head. "Here, wishes are granted and dreams take flight." Tara stepped inside, feeling a warmth spread through her like sunshine. The temple walls were adorned with intricate carvings that twinkled like captured starlight. A gentle breeze carried the scent of honeysuckle and wild roses. She walked deeper into the temple, past pillars that shimmered like spun sugar and fountains that flowed with moonbeams. In the heart of the temple, she found a small pool reflecting the shimmering fireflies. Above it hung a crystal ball, radiating a soft, inviting glow. The ladybug settled on Tara's shoulder, its tiny antennae twitching with excitement. "Make a wish," whispered the ladybug. "Close your eyes and whisper it to the crystal ball." Tara closed her eyes, taking a deep breath of the sweet air. She wished for adventures in faraway lands, for friends who shared her love for stories, and most importantly, she wished for enough kindness to fill the world with warmth and light. She whispered her wish into the crystal ball, feeling a sense of peace settle over her. When Tara opened her eyes, the fireflies seemed to dance with joy, their lights pulsing in harmony with her wish. The ladybug smiled, its tiny face radiating happiness. "Your wish has been heard," it said. "Now go forth and spread kindness wherever you go." Tara walked back out of the temple, following the path lit by the dancing fireflies. She thanked the ladybug for showing her this magical place and promised to remember the warmth and wonder she felt there. As Tara reached her home, nestled amongst the whispering willows, the moon peeked over the horizon, bathing everything in a soft, silver glow. She snuggled into her bed, feeling the warmth of the Firefly Temple still lingering within her heart. And so, as the stars twinkled above and the crickets chirped their lullaby, Tara drifted off to sleep, dreaming of adventures, kindness, and the magical Firefly Temple. Long time ago, in a village nestled between rolling hills and whispering meadows, lived a very special cow. Her name was Luna, and her fur was as white as the first snow of winter, soft as a cloud, and shimmered with a gentle, moonlit glow. Luna wasn't just any cow. She had a voice like spun moonlight, a voice that could calm even the stormiest winds and soothe the most restless hearts. When Luna mooed, it wasn't a plaintive call or a warning bellow. It was a melody, a lullaby whispered on the breeze, carrying with it dreams of clover-filled fields and starlit skies. The calves in the village adored Luna. Whenever they felt tired or scared, they would gather around her, snuggling close to her warm fur and listening to her gentle songs. Her mooing lulled them into peaceful slumbers, their tiny breaths echoing like soft chimes in the quiet air. Even the villagers found comfort in Luna's melodies. When worries crept in, or days grew long and weary, they would seek out Luna's company in the meadow. She would graze peacefully, her voice a soothing murmur that washed over them like a warm wave. Her songs were a balm for their souls, reminding them of simpler joys and the gentle rhythm of life. One evening, as the sun painted the sky with hues of lavender and rose, Luna noticed a young girl sitting alone on a fallen log. The girl's name was Lily, and she had tears brimming in her eyes. Luna approached Lily softly, her hooves barely making a sound on the soft grass. She nudged Lily gently with her nose, offering a silent comfort. Lily looked up at Luna, surprised by the cow's kindness. "What's wrong, little one?" Luna mooed softly, her voice filled with concern. Lily sniffled and wiped her tears. "I had a bad dream," she whispered, her voice trembling. "It was so scary." Luna lowered her head closer to Lily, her warm breath tickling the girl's cheek. She began to sing a lullaby, a melody as soft and gentle as falling snowflakes. Her voice carried the warmth of the setting sun and the promise of a safe and peaceful night. Lily listened intently, her eyes closing slowly as Luna's song washed over her. The fear from the dream faded away, replaced by a sense of calm and security. Soon, Lily drifted off to sleep, nestled against Luna's soft fur, lulled by the cow's magical melody. Luna watched over Lily until the moon rose high in the sky, its silvery light bathing the meadow in a tranquil glow. She knew that Lily was safe now, her worries forgotten, replaced by peaceful dreams. With a gentle nudge, Luna roused Lily, who stirred sleepily and blinked at the moonlight filtering through the leaves. "Thank you, Luna," Lily whispered, her voice still drowsy. "Your song helped me feel better." Luna mooed softly, a sound filled with love and contentment. She nudged Lily again, urging her towards home. As Lily walked away, Luna stood bathed in the moonlight, watching over the sleeping village. Her lullaby continued to echo through the night, a gentle promise of peace and safety for all who listened. And as the stars twinkled above, and the wind whispered through the trees, Luna knew that she was exactly where she belonged, bringing comfort and joy to those around her, one lullaby at a time. Now close your eyes, little ones. Let Luna's lullaby fill your dreams with soft moonlight and gentle breezes. Sleep soundly and sweet until morning light awakens you. Once upon a time, nestled amongst rolling hills and whispering bamboo groves, lived a boy named Veer. Veer had eyes like polished amber and a laugh that tinkled like wind chimes. But his most special treasure was his dole, a drum passed down through generations in his family. When Veer beat his dole, it wasn't just the sound of rhythm that filled the air. It was the melody of rain, the whispers of the clouds, and the soft sigh of the earth waking up. Veer would sit on his porch, bathed in the warm glow of the setting sun, and gently tap his dole. The notes would dance on the breeze, coaxing shy raindrops to tumble from the sky. Sometimes they'd fall as a gentle mist, kissing the leaves and turning the world into a shimmering emerald. Other times they'd pour down in a joyful cascade, filling the rivers and singing through the valleys. The animals loved Veer's music. The little squirrels would scamper to his porch, their bushy tails twitching with excitement, as if they knew the rhythm of the coming rain. The frogs would croak their approval, their voices blending with the soft hum of Veer's dole. Even the shy deer would emerge from the woods, their gentle eyes watching him with a quiet wonder. But Veer didn't just play his dole for the rain. He played it for dreams. When the moon climbed high in the sky, casting its silvery light on the sleeping world, Veer would play a special melody. It was a lullaby woven from moonlight and starlight, a song that whispered promises of adventure and joy. His music would drift through the trees, reaching every corner of the village. The children would snuggle deeper into their blankets, their dreams filled with dancing fireflies and talking animals. Their parents would sigh contentedly, lulled by Veer's soothing tunes. Even the old wise owl perched on its branch high above, watching over everything with gentle eyes, seemed to nod in approval. One night, a storm raged across the land, shaking the trees and rattling the windows. The villagers huddled inside, their hearts heavy with worry. The rain poured relentlessly, flooding the streets and turning the once familiar paths into rushing rivers. Even Veer's dole couldn't seem to tame the fury of the storm. Seeing the fear in his village, Veer knew he had to do something. He climbed onto his porch, braving the wind and rain, and began to play. This time, his melody wasn't a lullaby. It was a song of courage and hope, a rhythm that spoke of strength and resilience. He played with all his might, pouring every ounce of love and concern into his music. The storm seemed to pause, as if listening to Veer's plea. Then, slowly, the wind began to calm, the rain softened to a gentle drizzle, and the clouds parted just enough for a sliver of moonlight to peek through. The villagers emerged from their homes, gazing in awe at Veer, who stood bathed in the soft glow of the moonlit sky. They saw not just a boy playing his dole, but a beacon of hope, a reminder that even in the darkest storms, there is always light and music to guide us through. As the storm finally subsided, leaving behind a world cleansed and refreshed, Veer's dole fell silent. The villagers gathered around him, their faces filled with gratitude and admiration. They knew that as long as Veer played his music, they would always have hope, always have dreams, and always have a little bit of magic in their lives. And so, under the watchful gaze of the moon and stars, the village settled into a peaceful slumber, lulled by the echo of Veer's dole, each heart filled with warmth and wonder. Sleep now, little one. Dream sweet dreams, full of dancing fireflies and talking animals, just like Veer's music paints them. Close your eyes and let the magic of sleep surround you. Good night. Once upon a time, nestled deep within a sun-drenched valley, lived a tiny fairy named Alara. Her wings, the color of ripening mangoes, shimmered softly in the dappled sunlight that filtered through the leaves of the ancient mango trees. Alara was the mango rain fairy, and every summer afternoon, as the village children drifted off to their naps, she would dance among the branches, showering them with sweet, juicy raindrops that tasted just like mangoes. The villagers loved Alara's mango rain. When it fell upon the fields, it made the crops grow tall and strong, bursting with flavor. When it touched the flowers, they bloomed into a kaleidoscope of colors, their petals fragrant and sweet. And when it landed on the children's cheeks, they would giggle and sigh contentedly, dreaming of mango trees reaching up to the sky. One day, while Alara was sprinkling her magical rain, she heard a tiny whimper coming from beneath a large mango leaf. She fluttered down gently and peeked into the shadows. There, curled up in a ball, was a little ladybug with its antennae drooping sadly. "What's wrong, little one?" asked Alara, her voice as soft as the breeze rustling through the leaves. "My name is Luna," the ladybug whispered, "and I lost my way home during the storm last night." Luna sniffed, tears welling up in her big, black eyes. "I can't find my family, and I'm so scared." Alara felt a pang of sympathy for the little ladybug. She remembered how lonely it felt to be separated from loved ones. "Don't worry, Luna," she said gently. "I'll help you find your way home. Climb onto my back and hold on tight." Luna gratefully climbed onto Alara's back, her tiny legs clinging tightly to the soft fuzz of her wings. Alara took off into the air, soaring above the fields and trees, her mango-colored wings catching the sunlight. As she flew, she asked Luna questions about her family and their home. Luna told her about a beautiful rosebush where they lived, its petals always fragrant and colorful. Finally, after what felt like an eternity to Luna, Alara spotted a familiar patch of roses in the distance. "Look, Luna," she exclaimed. "There's your home." Luna gasped with delight as she saw her family gathered around the rosebush, their antennae waving anxiously. She quickly hopped off Alara's back and scurried towards them, buzzing happily. The other ladybugs welcomed Luna back with open arms, showering her with love and affection. They thanked Alara profusely for her kindness and help. Alara smiled warmly, knowing that she had made a difference in the little ladybug's life. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the valley, Alara returned to her mango tree. She felt a deep sense of contentment, knowing that she had brought joy and happiness to both the villagers and the little ladybug. The sky above was now ablaze with 1,000,000 twinkling stars, each one a tiny spark of magic in the vast darkness. The wind whispered through the leaves, carrying with it the sweet scent of mango blossoms. Alara closed her eyes, feeling the gentle warmth of the sun on her wings. She knew that soon, the village children would be sleeping soundly, dreaming of mango rain and magical fairies. And so, under the watchful gaze of the stars, Alara drifted off to sleep, ready for another day filled with magic and wonder. The world around you is quiet now, isn't it? The gentle sounds of the night are all around us. Close your eyes, little one, and let your dreams take flight. Dream sweet dreams of mango rain and sparkling stars. Sleep soundly, my dear, sleep soundly.